Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 6th of October and I welcome you all to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. In this particular video, we are going to discuss all the important articles from Hindu newspaper, and I would also like to tell you that you can download explainer notes of this particular session from our Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in description box in YouTube. Now, first of all, let's take overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are actually important in today's newspaper. So here we have Delhi edition, and here on the first page, uh, we have articles regarding the Sikkim flood death count reaches to 40. However, guys, though unfortunate event, but you are not really required to track this for exam. Then again, no evidence against Sisodia. Fine, nothing much important has been given in this particular direction. Supply copy of FIR to NewsClick founder court tells Delhi police. So we will be moving on, and here we have one article for exam, that is the Norway's John Foss wins Nobel for literature. So we have seen that over this particular week, Nobel prizes are being awarded, and up till now, Nobel prize in medicine, physics, and chemistry has already been given, and we have discussed it also already. Today, Nobel prize in literature, we are going to take this. Then further moving on, in regional section, we have regional political issues. Fine, nothing much important is there. Then there are these advertisements, etc., that are there. Okay, so I have seen this entire section, but article relevant for our examinations are not there. So directly we'll be reaching to the editorial. However, there is the spotlight section, the gold digger. So this article talks about a 25 crore rupees heist, okay, theft that happened in one of a jewelry shop. Again, not at all important for examination. Then we have this Metro Plus, fine Moscow's makeover, etc. Fine. Again, no need to go in that for exam specific dimension. Now, so in editorial, we have this first article, National Unity, a three-dimensional view. Okay, National Unity, a three-dimensional view. We are going to take up this particular article for the society and social issues. We'll take it up. Then, guys, on the side, we have this article, Equality and Identity. From past 3 days, we are discussing one particular issue, that is the caste census that has been conducted by Bihar and whose results have been released, where they provide that 63% people in Bihar belong to extremely backward and other backward classes, and in total 85% people in Bihar, they belong to the backward classes, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe category. Okay, now that particular thing further, I now even in the last 2 3 days also we have discussed this particular thing, that as number of backward class people in Bihar, they say, are 63%. Now they will raise a challenge to the reservation limit that has been there. So we know this particular thing, that as of now 27% reservation is given to OBC. So now the demands will be made that that reservation should be increased, and the reservation that is limited to 50% in total, that should also be extended. Okay. Now, guys, one thing I will advise you that 2 days back we have done a very exhaustive explanation of this entire thing. Find Mandal 3.0, what is Mandal 3.0, why this particular thing is emerging, when the first caste census has happened, all these particular things we have taken it up already. Okay, fine. So I hope that, okay, so that particular thing we have taken it up already. Fine. Now, guys, just I'll tell you the date also on Tuesday. Okay. So just for an advice, if you are following every day, not at all a problem. You need not to do anything. But if you are not following regularly or irregular, you are watching for the first time, I will highly insist that please go and watch Tuesday's newspaper analysis. Tuesday's newspaper analysis. Okay, that is 3rd of October. Okay. Then moving on in this particular direction, we have diffusing the ticking time bomb called diabetes. We'll take this particular article for the examination. Okay. Then, guys, here again this side article talking about the Nobel Prize for chemistry. Then moving on to the next article, does cash takes away the cachet of science awards? We'll take this particular article for the exam point of view. Then a battle for Rivaldo. Now, guys, this is a notebook article where the journalists, they give some account from their own life. Okay, not important for the examination. Okay, so no need to go here. Then moving on to the text and the context section, no country for old women, no country for old women. So, guys, this is a graphically speaking article, and in that what they do, they just show the different graphs, the different charts, numbers about a particular phenomena, and today they have taken the theme of the old women. By the way, on the elderly, there is one more article that has come in the science page. There also, I will take it up. Now, nothing is here to explain, just they have given the numbers. Okay, and guys, I will advise you that please note down the important data from this particular page for your exam, because these data you can use in your answers to authenticate your answer. For example, few important data are there. For example, article says this particular thing, that when we talk about the share of elderly population, it will double and it will go to 20.8% by 2050. Okay, the elderly population is increasing and will become 20% by 2050. Okay, and elderly women will outnumber senior men. And this thing we have discussed so many number of a times. Why? Because life expectancy in women happen to be more than men. Women outlive men, and because of that, there is even one word we have discussed: ruralization and feminization of elderliness. Ruralization of elderliness means that large number of elder people will be in rural areas, and feminization of elderliness means that large number of females are going to be there in the elder category. In total, 20.8% population of old people will be there. Okay, and 30% of the women above 60 years of age, one third of the women above 60 years of age, they have one morbidity, and 25% suffer from two morbidities. Is it clear or not? So this is something. However, no need to go in every such data that 30% of older women have difficulty getting out of bed, less than 25% are aware. Now, my point is that you need to have the broad data in your mind, Then every state specific data, guys, is not important. For example, dependency by region, northeast, center, east. Okay, so that is not important for every region specific. Okay, so that I will not advise you to go too much in detail. However, when we talk about the depression, when we talk about the depression among the elderly, it has been very much high, and incidence of depression is actually more high in the elderly women. Okay, and one more data, just you can see, one more data you can see, that when we talk about the women, 47% of elderly women have never worked in the past. 35% of women who experience are now 47% of elderly women have never worked in the past. So this particular thing means that they might not have any savings in their name. And because of that particular thing, poverty, feminization of poverty will also happen. Feminization of poverty will also happen. Okay. So that is about it. So my point is that, guys, just take down 2 3 data points. For example, this particular data you can take the share of elderly population, and old women are going to be more in the old women's population is going to be increased in elderly. Okay, then moving on to next page, the slow pacing of Kannada films, Toby and SSE, not important article for examination. Okay, so no need to go here. Then India looking to engage with the new Maldives government on all issues, says Ministry of External Affairs. Okay, so guys, this is also one more development which we have tracked in the last 1 week, that presidential elections have happened in Maldives, and because of that particular thing, new president, that is Mr. Maizu has come in Maldives. Now, when we talk about Mr. Maizu, okay, so he and the political party from which he belongs, they hold the philosophy of India out, and they have always been very much sympathetic, very much close to China. Okay, now when we talk about the earlier president, which has now been replaced, Mr. Ibu Soli, he was sympathetic to India and has been big time supporter of India, and because of that, large number of Indian projects in the Maldives were also constructed during the tenure of our last president. But now Mr. Maizu, he has this sympathy towards China, and India Out campaign they have supported. Now the India is very eager to see that how Maldives is going to respond to India. Now over a period of time, that particular thing will clear. So from the side of India, Ministry of External Affairs have clarified this particular thing, that we are looking to engage with the new Maldives government. Now why? Because India follows neighborhood first policy. Neighborhood first policy. Moreover, when we talk about Maldives, Maldives is a very strategic location in the Indo-Pacific, and in Indo-Pacific, India is running large number of projects. For example, Indian Ocean Indian Ocean Rim Association is there. Fine. Then Indian Ocean Naval Symposium is there. Then Quadrilateral Security Dialogue is there. Indo-Pacific Economic Framework is there. So Indo-Pacific is an important region, and in Indo-Pacific, Maldives happens to be an important country. So India always wants to engage that. Now, guys, all these particular thing as we talk about, fine. This is some that you need to know, have in your mind. Fine, this is some basic background information. But are you really required to track every statement being given by Ministry of External Affairs, every statement given by the new president of Maldives? No. Okay. As of now, breakthrough has not come. Okay. We need to observe this particular development as it is going on. Okay. So keep this particular thing in your mind very clearly. Then further moving on, center ban separatist leader Shabir Shah outfit for 5 years. Nothing much important is there in this particular direction. Court grants ED remand to Aam Aadmi Party Sanjay Singh. Political articles, tenders. Now, here we have one important article. India expanding censorship regime, creating uneven playing field study. So, a new report by Freedom House has been released. We'll take this particular article. Then, further moving on in this particular direction. Okay, moving on in this particular direction. Coming to world page, Russian missile strikes kill 51 in Ukraine, Zelensky. So, Russia Ukraine war, every day one article comes. No need to go and track that. 100 killed in attack on Syrian military academy. Okay, now, guys, coming to business page. On business page, largely we have the corporate trends, service PMI signal, September boost. I have told you this particular thing also again that every month's purchasing manager index data, every month's export import data, every month inflation is not really important that you have to track every month. My point is that you need to know the state of Indian economy, and in that particular direction, in every 1 week or so, one article comes which gives the entire idea. For example, recently there was one detailed article that we have taken about the RBI bulletin, which talks about that the saving rates have declined and liabilities have increased. Okay, so such kind of articles talking about the state of Indian economy on a macroscopic level, you need to see it. Every month by month data on all the indicators is not needed exam for exam point of view. Now, guys, for this particular thing, I've always say this thing that please go and see at least 15 years of previous year papers. Okay, for prelims at least, and for mains post 2014 13 papers, please go and see that. By that you will get an idea that what type of things actually UPSC is asking, because seeing that is very crucial to mainstream our preparation, because otherwise we end up wasting a lot of time in those kind of things which are not relevant for examination. Then these corporate trends, etc., Tata Motors, okay, etc., have been given. Then moving to the sports page, and guys, in the last there is one science page that is there, which in I think in physical copy doesn't comes. So preparing for the gray, elder mental health care comes into prominence. We'll take this particular article also for examination. So this is overview of entire newspaper, and now let's discuss all relevant articles one by one in detail. Okay, let's discuss the relevant articles. Okay, so every class we start with the GS quotation, and the idea is to use this quotation in our GS papers or in essay. So today we are going to take the quotation from Aung San Suu Kyi. Now, she says that democracy is when the people keep government in check. Democracy is when people keep government in check. So basically, guys, when we talk about the democracy, democracy pertains to a responsible government, and a responsible government will always be accountable. Accountability means answerability. Responsible government will always be accountable to the people with respect to the use of its authority, use of its powers. So therefore, in a democracy, ultimate power is not of government. Ultimate power is of people, and people keep government in check. In authoritarianism, ultimate power is of the ruling class, but in democracy, ultimate power is with the citizens. And therefore, in democracy, people, citizens keep government in check. You can use this particular idea for GS paper number 2, GS paper number 2, polity and governance, as well as in ethics, political ethics also. We can keep use this particular idea. Okay. Then moving on, and let's take first article for the today. So first article is Norway's John Foss, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Nobel Prize for Literature. Now this background I give you in every day, because now this entire week Nobel Prizes will be issued. So when we talk about Nobel Prize, guys, okay, Nobel Prize. So Nobel Prize, fine, they are Nobel Prize are awarded in the memory of Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel, who was a Swedish chemist, inventor, and was most popularly known for his invention of dynamite. Okay. Originally, Nobel Prizes were given in five categories. What were these five categories? Physics, chemistry, medicine or physiology, literature, and peace. However, sixth category Nobel Prize got added in 1968 by the Sweden's central bank, that is Sveriges Riksbank, and Nobel Prize for economic sciences also got added. So now in six categories economic prizes are given. Okay, now when we talk about Nobel Prizes are awarded, all the categories, all the prizes are awarded in Sweden except Peace Prize, and only Peace Prize it is awarded in Norway. It is awarded in Norway. Okay, now just one particular incident also I just would like to tell you, though I have told it earlier, but again, and you can use it in your ethics paper. So basically guys, Alfred Nobel, I told you he was famous for the invention of dynamite, and dynamite has been used to bring a lot of destruction. Okay, dynamite, lot of bombs, explosives are made by using the dynamite. Okay, now when Alfred Nobel was alive, one day what happened, his brother died, and a newspaper by mistake they thought that Alfred Nobel has died, and they actually wrote an obituary in the name of Alfred Nobel, and they started that obituary by saying that merchant of death is dead, merchant of death is dead. Now Alfred Nobel read that, and they said that his obituary is written, which was obviously by mistake, and it was referred that merchant of death is dead. He became very sad. He said that I am being referred to as merchant of death. He did not kill a single person, but why he was referred to as merchant of death? Because his invention dynamite is bringing lot of damage. Fine. So therefore he decided that I should be used for good things, and therefore he ordered that after my death all the wealth that I have earned should be used to give, should be used to award the people from science. Okay, one thing. Now guys, one more thing is that moral burden, okay, moral burden of your acts or moral burden of your actions will always fall on you. Fine. So one should always be very careful. Fine. That is about it. Now, so guys, here you can see that this is the list of the people of Indian origin who had got the Nobel Prize. Now, when we talk about the Nobel Prize in the last 1 week, every day one Nobel Prize is being given. So up till now, we have already discussed the Nobel Prize in medicine. We have already discussed Nobel Prize in medicine that has been given. Now, Nobel Prize in medicine has been given to two of the physicists, two of the biochemists. Okay, two of the biochemists and doctors, scientists. Okay, that is Kathleen Carrico and an American physician, Drew Weissman. Okay, fine. I think I used the word physicist. Apologies. Fine, physician. Sorry. Now they have been given the Nobel Prize for mRNA, messenger RNA vaccines against COVID-19. Then second, we discussed the Nobel Prize in Physics that was given. The Nobel Prize in Physics was given to three people, okay, were given to three people. That is Pierre Augustini, fine, Frank Cross, and Anne L. Euler. Okay, and they were given the Nobel Prize for studying the electrons inside the atoms for their study in attoseconds. For their study in attoseconds. Then chemistry's Nobel Prize we have taken, which has been given to Mongi G. Bavendi, Louis E. Bros, and Alexei Ekimov, and they have been given for quantum dots. All these things that we have discussed also in detail, that what these inventions are, and in simple words what they stand for. Today we are going to discuss Nobel Prize in Literature. So Nobel Prize in Literature, by the way, guys, when we talk about when we talk about Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, he was also given the Nobel Prize in Literature. He was also given the Nobel Prize in Literature. Rudyard Kipling has also been given the Nobel Prize in Literature. Okay. Now, so basically, Rudyard Kipling, why his name is there? Because he was stationed in India. Okay. Now, Norway. So sorry, Nobel Prize in Literature. So John Foss from Norway has been given the Nobel Prize in Literature. Why he has been given the Nobel Prize? Because he has written the plays, large number of plays he has written, who are one of the world's most contemporary time plays. Okay. For example, Shakespeare also has written a lot number of plays. Okay, his plays are also staged today. but he is not a contemporary artist. He is not a he is not a contemporary author. Okay, so when we talk about John Foss, he's a contemporary author, and his plays are one of the most widely staged plays in the world. And when we talk about his genre of writing, he has written large number of plays, novels. He has written large number of poems, poetry collection, essays, children books, as well as translations. Okay. Now, most important works of John Foss are Boathouse and Melancholy 1 and 2. Melancholy 1 and 2. Okay. And his latest book is Septology. His latest book is Septology, which is divided in 7 parts across 3 volumes. And this entire book runs to 1250 pages without a single full stop. Fine, there is no full stop. This entire book, 1250 pages book, is without a single full stop. And this Septology is the third volume. I told you that this is in 3 volumes. Septology is third volume. It was also shortlisted for International Booker Prize in 2022. International Booker Prize in 2022. Okay, so these are some of the basic details. Now it has been said that Mr. Fozz's writing method is a very peculiar and very unique. He says this particular thing, that what he can do through his writing, he can evoke a loss of orientation in the readers. So for example, I'm reading a book, there will be a loss of orientation, and in that loss of orientation, I will reach in a particular state of mind where I will experience some type of a divinity, some type of a deeper experience will be there. So it has been said that such kind of experiences happen to people when people are reading his books. Okay, so this is the contribution of the John Fosse, and he has been awarded Nobel Prize in Literature. That is about it, guys. Beyond this, please don't go and see anything for exam specifically. If you have interest, you can read for hours, but for exam, no need to go in that. Okay. Now, moving on to next article. Moving on to the next article. So this is the article from Science section. Preparing for the Grey, elder mental health care comes into prominence. Now, what this particular article is all about and where this is going to be important, this article will see with respect to GS paper number 2, social justice. Within the social justice, issues related to elderly. Okay, now if you remember guys, already we have seen this particular thing in the text and the context page, that the elderly population is increasing in India, and particularly the women's population is going to increase. Now, first of all, if we take the data, then we find, just a minute. Okay, so we find this particular thing, that the number of old people that are living today, their number is largest since the times immemorial in the history. Today we have the largest population of elderly people. As we talk about elderly population, so around 1.1 billion people today. Now this is a global population. 1.1 billion people today, they are above 60 years of age, and in total they comprise 13.9% of the global population today. And by 2050 their population will increase, and by 2050 the number of people who are old, their population will increase to 22% of global population. Okay, and at the same time, when we talk about India, in India, elderly population is going to double from 2022 to 2050, and by 2050 their population will reach to 20.8% by 2050. Now the population of old people is going to double up, but one question is there, that are we ready to cater to this increasing population of old people? Do we have adequate health infrastructure? Do we have adequate social infrastructure? Is government social security programs adequate enough to cater to these old age people's requirement? So answer is no. Answer is no. Now, article says this particular thing, that the elderliness brings a lot of challenges. It brings mental health challenges, physical health challenges, social challenges. Okay, and it has been said that in India, a very little discussion has happened about the concept of healthy aging. Very little discussion has happened about the concept of healthy aging. Okay, we old people are often not able to cope up with the old age. Families often don't know how to respond to the increasing age of the people. And basically there are large number of misconceptions that are there about old age, and because of this misconception, largely old age people, they develop depression, they develop anxiety, they develop dementia. Okay, because of these particular because of these particular misconceptions, as they are not able to take care of themselves. Now it has been said that in the old age there will obviously be the physical changes that will come. For example, gray hairs, for example, reduction in muscle mass, gray hair, reduction is muscle mass, body pain, joint pain. But at same time, there is also increased dependency that starts. For example, old age people, they have to depend on their children for their physical sustenance, for their economic sustenance. After that, social isolation starts. When you are young, you can go anywhere, wherever you want. But in old age, your body doesn't permits you. So therefore, a social isolation develops. Then at the same time, there is a poverty. There is a poverty. Now, when we talk about old age people, we have seen a feminization of elderliness is going on, where large number of old people are women, and these women, majority of the women, if I just take you back to, just a minute, yes, if I just take you back to the data, yes. So if we go to the data, here we see this thing that 47% of elderly women have never worked in the past. So these women probably will not have any savings in their name. And because of that particular thing, what will happen? Financial vulnerabilities, okay, financial insecurities will develop to the old age people, particularly more to the women, more to the women. Okay. So all these particular issues we see in old people. Okay. Now, further moving on, guys, in this particular direction, the article says that at the same time, old people are also vulnerable to many different kind of abuse. For example, physical abuse. And this is the data by National Crime Record Bureau, fine National Crime Record Bureau, that under the category of domestic violence, large number of domestic violence is meted out to the old people. But at the same time, they cannot come out and cannot share that particular thing, because if they will come out and will say that they are meted out with domestic violence, what will happen? They have nowhere to go. They will be discarded by their own family members. Okay, so physical violence, even sexual violence against the old people, financial abuse, financial scams are very much rampant. And many number of a times, perpetrator of these crime is somebody that they know from their family. Okay. Now, article says this particular thing, that at the same time, old people also face a one problem of one particular social issue. Now, Eric Erikson has given the theory of ego integrity versus despair. Ego integrity versus despair. Let's understand this particular thing. Now, there are many preconceived notions that are there in society. Number one, if you have worked throughout your entire life, you should have achieved something. You should have achieved something. There should be a sense of some accomplishment, that yes, I have made this, I have made this empire, I have achieved this. One. Second, if you are old, it is expected that you have to be wise. You have to be wise. But sometimes that doesn't happen. Many old people, they have worked for their entire life, but they might not be able to do a lot. They might not be able to earn a lot of money. Okay. And even they have become old, they might not be that, they might not have accumulated that wisdom which people expect them to have, because people's expectation will always be very much superficial. Okay. Now, when such kind of a thing comes to their realization that we might not have done a lot, we have not earned a lot of money, what brings, it brings a kind of a despair. So understand this particular thing, there is ego integrity, there is this sense of ego that I should have done this, I should be wise enough, I should have achieved, I should have earned a lot of money. Okay, but when they find that it is not up to the mark what they expected, it brings despair. Okay, so basically, this some things that came. Fine. So what happens? Old person, they would be filled with despair if they find that they do not consider themselves successful. Further, in old age, there will be a lot of physical, bodily, social, mental, financial limitations that come to a person, and it should be okay that a person will not be able to take up some responsibility, and the person should not feel bad that I'm not able to fulfill that responsibility. A person should recognize that I cannot fulfill all the responsibilities because of my limitation, but in our society that is not acceptable. In our society that is not acceptable. Okay, so accepting the limitation of old age, fine, and renouncing our responsibilities without a sense of suffering or loss, fine, is essential to age well psychologically, but that does not happen, and it brings the mental stress in old people. Further, when we talk about old people, guys, large number of old people, 15% of elderly, 15% of elderly people in India, they are having serious mental illness such as clinical depression, anxiety, dementia. Okay, substance use disorder is also huge on in the old people. But at the same time, the next problem that comes is a treatment gap. Treatment gap is 90%. So 90% of the people suffering with these mental disorders, they are never able to get a doctor's prescription. They don't get any medical assistance. Now, in that particular capacity, we even see that healthcare professionals, they are even pessimistic that the old age people will recover. Okay, and for example, dementia. When old age people have dementia, their children or their family members are advised that it cannot be treated, just lock them in the room. Okay, so that kind of system is there, which is existing. So support, healthcare support is largely missing. Moreover, when we talk about the psychosocial treatment centers, psychiatric psychiatric facilities, they are daycare centers, they are largely missing, and if even they are available in big metropolitan or in specific cities. But where large number of old people are living, where large number of old people are living, they are living largely in rural areas. So these institutions, these facilities are not there in rural areas. Now, here one case study of an NGO has been given, and guys, it is always advised that you give such kind of an examples and case studies in your answer. So here we have example of Schizophrenia Research Foundation, that is SCARF Foundation. Now this foundation has partnered with Azim Premji Foundation and is creating awareness about elder mental health in the Tamil Nadu region. So many such kind of an NGOs need to come together, and they provide crucial insight, crucial information about the healthy aging, as well as the mental as well as the mental care that is to be given during the old age. Okay. Moreover, the article also gives a very good kind of an observation. See, today we see that tradition of joint family system is declining in the cities. Joint family system has many advantages. Old age people, they did not had loneliness. They had their support ecosystem in joint families. Also in joint families, festivals were celebrated together. Many group activities used to happen, which would have kept old age people engaged. But because of the decline of the joint family culture, old age people are getting impacted negatively. Okay, so this is guys all about it, and therefore now the time has come that a coordinated action should be given from the point of view of individuals, families, civic societies, government, NGOs, all should come together and should responsibility take care of the old age people. Okay. Moving on to next article. India expanding censorship regime, creating uneven playing field study. So basically, guys, this particular article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 2, free media, free press. Okay, fine. So basically, recently, a report has been released by Freedom House. Now, Freedom House is a US Washington based non-profit organization, and name of this particular report is Freedom on the Net 2023. So this Freedom on the Net 2023 report is released by Freedom House. Now, this particular report is seeing that whether internet freedoms have improved or whether internet freedoms have declined. And according to this particular report, it is being said that global internet freedom has declined for 13th consecutive year. So since 2010, internet freedom is declining. And this particular report says that nowadays, what is happening, governments around the world, they are using the power of artificial intelligence to suppress the free media, to bring a kind of a censorship, as well as to create disinformation. Artificial intelligence is being used. Now, they have largely talked about two things. Number one, they have talked about the digital repression, and secondly, use of AI. We'll discuss both of them. First of all, digital repression. So they say that in digital repression, three countries are there where a large digital repression goes on. They control media to such an extent that giving your thought on media is virtually not possible. So they say, first of all, Iran. Iran authorities have shut down internet for a long period of time. They blocked WhatsApp, Instagram, increased surveillance. Why? Just to quell the anti-government protest. Now, you might be knowing that last year there was a big protest that started in Iran because of the moral policing in Iran. Now, what is the moral policing issue? So, one woman, she was punished and eventually she died because she has not worn the hijab properly. Okay. And that led to a very big protest in Iran. So, what they led? They led to the digital repression so that anti government protest can be silenced. After that, China for the ninth straight year has been ranked as the countries with world's worst environment for internet freedom. And then Myanmar is the second most repressive country for the online freedom. Okay. Then further, the article says this particular thing that what happened? Digital repression, digital repression increases before election period. And what happens? The incumbent leaders find they try to block independent news sites, they try to arrest free journalists, fine, so that they cannot talk about the government. So this is the trend that digital repression as well as the free media is declining around the world. Now specifically, they have talked about the now specifically for India, they have said this particular thing that what happened recently, IT rules were passed. Now, in these IT rules, information technology, intermediary guideline, and digital media ethics code rule. Now, in these IT rules, government has specified that social media intermediaries such as the Facebook, okay, Twitter, they need to use AI based moderation tools, artificial intelligence based moderation tools, so that they can filter out certain kind of posts, certain kind of words if they are being uh, posted anywhere on their platform. Okay, so this particular thing says that what is happening, internet freedom, digital freedom is declining. And on the score of 1 to 100, 100 represents highest digital freedom, 1 represents no digital freedom. India's score is 50 and the best country is Iceland with 94 score. Okay, this is about it. I hope that you have understood it. Now moving to the next article. National unity, a three-dimensional view. National unity, three-dimensional view. Now, this particular article we are going to see with respect to the GS paper number 1, social issues, as well as GS paper number 2, social justice, social developments. We are going to see this particular article. Now, this particular article, guys, what this article is largely talking about, fine. What this article is largely talking about, this article is talking about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar versus Gandhiji's approach towards unity in India. And this article is also talking about that how on three different fronts national unity has been carried. Let's discuss it in more detail, then you will understand more what I am trying to say here. So, article says this particular thing that when we talk about the national unity. So, national unity has been a very important priority for the nation. And during the freedom struggle, freedom movements, national unity movement has been taken up, which talked about social reform, which talked about unity in Hindu Muslims, unity in the low caste, upper caste, fraternity unity. These movements have been carried. And one of our leader who has talked a lot on national unity is Mahatma Gandhi ji. Now, when we talk about unity in India, so there are three dimensions of unity. Three dimensions of unity. Okay. Number one, there should be the harmony, unity, justice between different castes. Now we see there is animosity, okay, between upper caste and lower caste. Many number of a times upper caste perpetuate a lot of inhumanities on the lower caste. So along caste lines, there is a lot of inhumanity, injustice, inequality that existed. So first, we need to bring unity, fraternity, justice on caste lines. Second is harmony among religions, harmony among religions. And third is harmony and a unity, fraternity against the different regional identities, regional identities. Now, these three dimensions can be said as Hindu unity. Within the Hindu, different caste should have a unity and fraternity. Then Hindu Muslim unity, and then heartland periphery unity. Heartland periphery unity. Heartland is mainland India, and periphery, it includes northeast India. It includes the it includes the northeast India, it includes the particular states which are on the which are onto the international borders. Sometimes also the south India and the north India divide also comes here. Fine, we'll understand all these three types of unity that is important in India. Now when we talk about Gandhiji, so Gandhiji was a big time supporter of two type of unities, that is Hindu unity and Hindu Muslim unity. Now, when we talk about Gandhiji on Hindu unity within the caste, Gandhiji recognized that caste based discrimination. This is the worst caste based discrimination. This is a worst thing that might negatively impact the nation building. And they said that by this particular thing, Hindu unity will be disturbed and national integration can never happen. Gandhiji was always sympathetic to this idea that upper caste people should have a kindness towards the lower caste people. Okay. Now, one idea just I want to tell you, because here Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is also, his name was also referenced. Listen, when we talk about the two great leaders, we have on one hand Gandhiji, on one hand we have Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Now, Gandhiji gave the word Harijan. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar popularized the word Dalit. Now, Dalit literally means broken people. Harijan means the children of God. But what is other difference between the word Harijan and Dalit? When we talk about Harijan, Harijan is based on the attitude of sympathy. Gandhiji always appealed to the upper caste people that you should show sympathy to the lower caste people, Harijan, because they are also the children of God. You are children of God, they are also children of God. Have a sympathy. Therefore, the word Harijan. But Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's approach was different. He said this particular thing that we don't want any sympathy, we want our rights, we want what is due to us. Okay, we don't want any sympathy or charity, we want our rights. So Dalit word has a revolutionary zeal attached to that. Harijan word has a sympathy element of sympathy attached to that. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar very specifically urged this particular thing that if any depression, if any discrimination against the depressed classes is to be removed, then that can only happen if they are separated from entrenched cultural universe called Hinduism. Okay, within Hinduism, fine, their emancipation cannot happen. This was the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's view. Now, you might have read in your history Communal Award of 1932. Now, what was this Communal Award of 1932? So, government tried to introduce separate electorate for the depressed classes, and it was British government's classic stroke to divide Hindus. Earlier, they have given separate electorate to Muslims and Christians. They have divided them, and now within the Hindus also they want to drive a division, and therefore Communal Award was introduced. Now, Gandhiji knew this particular thing, that by this permanently they will divide the upper caste and depressed class, and never the Hindu unity will come. So Gandhiji set on to the fast until death and was ready to die, that I will not let this happen. And in last, what happened? Separate electorate was not given, and in return, they were given the they were given the reservation representation in legislature. Pune Pact was signed. Fine. Now, further, when we talk about Hindu-Muslim unity, now in the Hindu-Muslim unity, Gandhiji, first of all, considered himself as a devout Hindu. Okay, there was no two things in that. Gandhiji considered himself as a Hindu, devout Hindu, but he was a tolerant Hindu, and he said that the accommodative view that I hold, it can only be accommodated in Hinduism. So now, but at the same time, Gandhiji believed that the Muslims, they are a distinct community, and their autonomy should be recognized. Their autonomy should be recognized, and there should not be the hatredness between the Hindus and Muslims. There should also be the Hindu-Muslim unity. Okay, and therefore he at times also supported the causes. He at times also supported the agendas of Muslims. For example, Khilafat movement. Now, Khilafat movement was a transnational fine Muslim agenda, but he supported that also, because according to this, a kind of a unity between Hindus and Muslims will come. Fine. Then third plane of unity, third axis of unity is unity between heartland and periphery. Now, there are many issues that developed, particularly after we started building the constitution. First issue came the national language issue, and official language issue. By the way, guys, we don't have any national language in India. We have official language. Okay. Now, when we talk about the official language, what should be the official language of India? So, leaders proposed that official language should be Hindi, because English is an imperial language. They said English is an imperial language. Therefore, the official language, sorry, should be Hindi. Just a minute. Now, but that particular thing was not supported by the leaders from South India. Fine, that thing was not uh, supported by the leaders from South India because Hindi might because many people in South India they don't speak Hindi. Okay, so what happened? A Hindi public sphere emerged in the North India. And this Hindi sphere of North India, it started to show itself as the national sphere. Okay. Hindi, language of North India, was being projected as the official language for entire India. For entire India. So Hindi sphere of North India started to project itself as the national sphere. Okay, and this particular thing, what happened? It gave a sense of feeling to the southern part of India that they are being ignored. They are being treated as secondary. Okay, and on official language, there was a controversy that developed in 1950. For 15 years, this question was delayed. However, in 1965, for entirety, this question was dealt that there will be Hindi and English, both will be official language of India. Then, guys, Jammu and Kashmir wanted special autonomy, so Article 370 was given to them. Then, northeastern region, tribal region, they want special autonomy, so sixth schedule was brought for them. Then, guys, in 1976, as population divide was coming in south and north, population of south was going down, population of north was going up. South India felt that it will be a disadvantage for them. Why? Because in Lok Sabha constituencies are divided on the basis of population. North India's population is more. They will get more seats in Lok Sabha. So what happened for 50 years? First in 1976 and then in 2002. The For 50 years, what has happened? The delimitation was frozen. Okay, and in this particular way, what happened here between the mainland and between the periphery region, the integrity was brought, unity was brought. Now, further, the article talks about the BJP. Now, it says that BJP, when it has come, it is focusing only onto the one dimension of unity, that is the Hindu unity. Other dimensions have got forgotten. Now, further it analyzes the BJP's strategy, what BJP did, what Rahul Gandhi did, all that thing. Not at all important for examination. Okay. So this is, guys, all about this particular article. Now moving to next article. Diffusing the ticking time bomb called diabetes. Now this article will take with respect to the GS paper number 2 health. GS paper number 2 health. Okay. Now, guys, on this particular theme, many articles we have seen. In fact, few days back, there was an article on hypertension that also came because because on hypertension, the report was released which says that India's hypertension prevalence rates are much higher than global average. Just a reference. Fine. Okay, guys, one more point I want to make that one thing. Please ensure that if you are reading the newspaper, you are reading it every day. Okay. Why? Because a lot of things have a kind of a continuity, and a large number of things that you are reading today, you will be able to make a connection with an article 20 days back. So continuity should be there. Okay. Whatever you are comfortable reading newspaper, you are comfortable watching video, you are comfortable, do that, but do it regularly. Okay. Now, so recently, what has happened? A joint study has been conducted by Madras Diabetes Research Foundation, ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, and Union Ministry of Health. And they said this particular thing that 11.4% of India's population is diabetic. They are 11.4% of India's population. Around 10.13 crore people are suffering with diabetes, and 15.3% of population, they are pre-diabetic. They are pre-diabetic. Clear? Now, at the same time, 28.6% of India's population is obese as per the body mass index measurements. 28.6% are obese. Fine. 15%, 11%, 11.4% are diabetic. 15.3% are pre-diabetic. This is a big health crisis. This is a big health crisis. Now, according to World Health Organization, what is the biggest reason for such a increase in diabetes, increase in obesity? It is the consumption of unhealthy, ultra processed foods and beverages. And I have said this thing earlier also. Again, I'm saying UPSC aspirants are also the one who are consuming large number of these unhealthy, ultra processed foods. Why? Because for long hours you are sitting in the library and you think that I'll feel hungry, so I'll grab a packet of biscuit, I'll grab a packet of chips, I'll grab a packet of kurkure. Now these are most unhealthy. These are the ultra processed foods. Fine. Now basically what has happened today, these ultra processed foods, for example, some biscuits are being branded as digestive, some biscuits are being branded as healthy in fiber, all such kind of a thing. So today we see there are aggressively marketing campaigns which are displacing our traditional diets. Fine. And today carbonated drinks, chips, fruit flavored drinks, processed items, they have become quite popular. And scientific evidence shows that these particular foods, they have high sugar, high fat, high salt content, and not good fat, rather the bad fat. Okay. Okay. As you consume these high sugary items over a period of time, it leads to uh, tendencies of high sugar. Okay. Further, when we talk about obesity and diabetes, indirectly they promote a large number of cardiovascular diseases, heart diseases. And it has been said that a person having more than four items of the ultra processed food item, four servings of the ultra processed food item, they are prone to the cardiovascular diseases. And today we see this particular thing, guys, that over the last few years, because of awareness that has come into the high income countries, consumption of carbonated drinks have fallen in the high income countries. And as consumption of carbonated drinks have fallen in high income countries, now these big brands, they are looking to the lower income countries because their awareness is not there, and therefore they are aggressively marketing their products in countries such as India. Fine. Now, often at the same time, what is happening? They are targeting children in the middle class by showing them cartoon characters, by giving incentives, gifts. Okay. And as they are luring, they are attracting the children's. Okay. What is happening? The children are impacting the consumption decision of entire family. And by that, consumption of these particular items have increased. Further, article also says that Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSAI, has not taken any action in this particular thing. They are very much having a lackluster. They are uh, not very much active to control this particular phenomena. So article says that today we need the legal safeguard, and even if needed, by using Article 123, an ordinance should be brought. Immediately, these unhealthy products that are being sold, they should be brought to a ban, or a strict regulation should be imposed. Moreover, guys, in Western countries, just I'm giving you a case study. In Germany, what happens? In Germany, every food item has to have a label of 1 to 5 in which they will show that how healthy it is for you. 1 means very healthy, 5 means very bad for your health, 3 means between in that. So every food has to show that how healthy it is for your consumption on the scale of 1 to 5. So such kind of things can also be incorporated in India. Okay. So this is, guys, about it. And then moving to next article. Does cash take away the cachet of science awards? Okay. Now this particular article will see with respect to GS paper number 2, scientific research and development. Now, this article, guys, in fact, we have discussed earlier also. So we have seen this particular thing that recently what has happened, government has rationalized science awards. Earlier, there were hundreds of science awards in different categories that were being given to the scientist and researcher. But now government with has come out with Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar. Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar. And these Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar will subsume many science awards that are being given. Under this Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar, 56 prizes in total will be given to felicitate the scientist. Okay. But these Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskars will not have a cash component. Okay. So like the Padma Awards, they will not have a cash component. Now, when we talk about the cash component, fine. For example, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awards, they have also been subsumed under the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar, and it has a cash component. And Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award was being given since 1960. Okay. Now, article says this particular thing that cash award will not be given. Large number of science awards you have subsumed into Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar, where now only 56 awards are being given. So, a question comes that now not giving a cash prize, will it disincentivize the scientist community? So they say that the scientists, they are not really working for an award. They are not really working for the money or the cash contribution. Rather, they are working to make their contribution known to the world. They want that their research, their findings should be one day be printed in textbook. The next generation should learn from the findings that they have done. So they want a academic recognition and not the cash recognition, not the cash recognition. The article says that actually today there are many private awards that are being given to the scientists, and they have a large amount of money than what are being given by the government awards. But still, still still, as these awards don't have that credibility, that acceptability like the government awards, the scientists, they long for these awards. They want to get this particular kind of a recognition. Money is not a very big matter. Further article says this particular thing, that see, over the years there is a crisis across the disciplines that has also come. Okay, earlier people used to work more for the endeavor. For example, earlier journalists, they used to work for social change. Example is given of Dr. Swaminathan, who qualified to become an IPS, but he rejected the post because he wanted to do the social work. So basically, people such as scientists, people such as the social workers, they are not working for money, rather, they work for recognition and bringing a social impact. So this might not impact or might not disincentivize them. So this is about it. Beyond this, much important substance is not given in this article. So that is about it. And now moving on to the main practice question for today. So today's question reads: in India, 11.4% of population are living with diabetes. In such a context, policy and regulatory action are warranted. Discuss the efforts taken by government. So this will be a GS paper number 2, 10 marker question. Okay. So that is all guys about it. And with this, we come to an end of the today's session. I hope guys that you have understood it, and I hope that you have got the utility of your time. So that is about it. Now we'll be meeting tomorrow. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.